My lord! Our ninja have sabotaged the gates! 合戦の経験はある。正義を尊ぶのが武士の信条。楽な戦など一つとてないが、我らは正義の師、気高い大義を掲げておる。あのたわけどもには戦う前からうんざりだ。たわけにはいつもへきへきするが、途方もない思い上がりには施す手がないわい。命令はただ一つ。この城を落とすことじゃ。たやすいとは思わぬが、必ずできるはずじゃ。もう口上は十分だ。戦いの時、わしにとっては総大将の技量を発揮する時だ。お主らに無駄死にはさせんぞ。
Good afternoon and welcome back to Let's Play Total War Shogun 2. Currently Taketoshi is attacking the Hatakeyama held province of Kawachi. Now as you can see we have 3 reinforcement armies and their directions were indicated by these little arrows that are coming in on the side here as the reinforcements arrive, and those are almost directly proportional to the compass points of where the armies are on the actual map. And while you will see these reinforcement arrows, friendly armies that are incoming, before the start of the match and during it, you won't see it for hostile reinforcements. So it's important to note where the actual enemy reinforcement armies are with respect to your deployment. Now, obviously, as this is a siege battle, we have plenty of time, given our far superior numbers of both ranged and melee troops, in order to consolidate our forces for maximum effect. So while they're getting into play, we'll just go and have a look at this fortification here. Now, as you can see, it's a fairly reasonably well defended fortification. There are 4 Yari Ashigaru, the Samurai Retainers, and 2 regiments of Bo Ashigaru. Now, those 2 regiments of Bo Ashigaru are going to make it difficult for us to do a lot of ranged skirmishing. We just don't have the ranged firepower to really fight against that when they have the benefits of walls. The poor accuracy of Bo Ashigaru means that the vast majority of the shots tend to get caught on this arrow catcher up here or drop low, while the defenders have no such problems. They're able to shoot through the gaps straight at our troops. Obviously, we have more troops than them, and they're of equal quality roughly, the Yari Ashigaru versus the Yari Ashigaru, so we'd expect 1-to-1 kill. Now unfortunately, because their troops will fight to the last man inside the Tenshu area, and our troops definitely won't fight to the last man, we're gonna look, you roughly need around 2-to-1 in this sort of scenario. Now luckily for us, we have an ace up our sleeve in the form of our Katana Samurai. As we can see, these guys here doing wonderful things with their little marching. Do like the swagger some of them have. And you can see their statistic, quite high melee attack. Their melee defense isn't brilliant, but their armor's pretty good. And basically that combines together. These are the premier anti-infantry unit in the game. A lot of armies are built around this as the core, with infantry killing capabilities, and they're often able to kill at ratios of 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 of equivalent Yari Ashigaru, so that's fantastic, they're really good. Unfortunately, there's a lot less of them in a unit. There's only 120 as they are samurai to the 150 Yari Ashigaru, so you need to husband them a little bit, you need to just baby them a touch. Now, luckily for us, the gates have been opened by Chisato earlier this turn, and so we will be able to bring in our forces without any loss, but they've got enough men to be able to bottle us up if the gate is our pure form of attack, so we need to leverage our numbers a touch. Now, they have their ranged forces out on this side over here, and I've just got a couple of archers there, basically to punish them for whatever they do. So, because we have superior range numbers, we just sit just a touch out of range, and if the Bo Ashigaru here decide that they want to move down to cover these guys, to shoot at these Bo Ashigaru, then these Bo Ashi can move in and punish them for pulling away from their protective shell. Basically, we've pinned them in place, and we're just going to be putting pot shots in to the Yariashi, and it's moderately effective. It's not going to be brilliant, but every little bit will help right now, just while we bring our extra forces up. Now, as you can see, the plan at the moment is basically to hit from multiple sides. They don't have enough troops in this area to basically be able to hold all of the fronts necessary if I hit them all at once. And really, what we're going to want to do is we want to maximize use for Katana Samurai, and that means having as many of them in the fight as possible, but also as a coherent unit, because you really want to minimize them trickling in one by one. So in order for that, you want to be pushing them through the gates. Now, unfortunately, the computer will just defend those gates, and you really won't be able to bring your Katana Samurai to bear properly, or indeed any assault troop. And so it's best to hit multiple sides to draw the computer, to force the computer into a conundrum. It either has to respond to your units that are coming up the walls, or it has to hold the gate, and and it can't do both. So you take full advantage of the troops you have available to you. Now, everyone's pretty much in position right now, so what I don't want is I don't want these Bow Ashigaru to suddenly start putting shots into my Katana Samurai, or indeed my melee forces as we make the approach. So we move these Bow Ashigaru up and have them engage shots. Now, the AI likes to keep shooting at the target that it initially shot at, provided it doesn't fall too far out of range. So in this way, by moving your cheap skirmishing units up, the Bow Ashigaru won't be able to help us in the melee fight. So instead, they're going to tie down valuable enemy archer shots, which could be going into our more valuable troops. Now you can see immediately that even though we're shooting into their Bow Ashigaru with 2 units, we're really not doing a lot of damage, and they're doing quite a bit back. And that's just the sort of difference that having the fortifications makes with these lower quality troops. If these were Bow Warrior Monks or even Bow Samurai, we'd be expecting a lot more kills on these Bow Ashigaru, but as it is, we can expect them to get cut to shreds. So it's important to note that range firepower really is quite heavily multiplied on the defender's side with respect to these early sorts of battles. Now we're making a move here. 2 regiments of Ashigaru to hit these corner walls here and basically tie these guys down. Our bowmen have done a good job of softening up the Yariashi, so we should, with any luck, be able to hold reasonably well. So as you can see, everyone's just making a mad dash for it. Now what I'm not going to use is, where have they gone? Here we are. My rank 3 Yariashigaru, because they're pretty powerful for the fact that they're Yariashi, and I don't really want to dilute their experience. You really want to send in your expendable troops to take the vast majority of the casualties first. And in the case of these guys, that's our fresh Yariashi. So as you can see, we've hit all along here at once, and we're sending some Yariashi in through this gate. And at the same time, you can see immediately the Katana Samurai have come up through the back, both units of them, while these forces have been engaged. And so we're just going to split and hit. Now at this point, it's a pure grind fight, because we have to kill them to the last man, and without basically routing. Now, we're fighting on their capture point a little bit, so the timer counts down, but there's far too many troops, they'll just be able to push us back off, so it'll tick up and down a bit. Now, what we don't want to be doing is we don't want to be firing anymore, so quick, especially with the Katana Samurai running in, because they're going to catch stray arrows, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. So we can see here that our Yariashi have taken a real beating on this corner here, and indeed all of these flanks. You can really expect heavy casualties for the first guys over the walls. In fact, their units will generally be completely wiped out. But luckily we have full numbers. Everyone's tied down, all of their forces are tied down, and we're just able to keep bringing in troops. Now, you can see that it's devolved into a bit of a melee at the gate here as the computer's defending it, so we're having to send some troops over the walls in order to get them in rather than having them backed up outside. But that's alright, that's not a real problem. You'll lose a couple coming over the walls, about 6% of the unit or so maybe about 10 men, but it's generally worth it to get them in the fight. As you can see, our Katana Samurai, 150 kills, and they've lost 30 men, so they're really hoeing through them. Now, generally speaking, these Samurai Retainers, you can see the Samurai Retainers have killed 50 men out of the 45 they had, and that's still slowly ticking up. There was a few more that they'll kill yet. So they're really very effective against our troops. So that's why we have these Katana Samurai in there. They won't do as well, because obviously they're fighting equivalent tier troops. In fact, the Samurai Retainers are slightly better, man for man. But there's a lot more of them, and will eventually win through sheer press of numbers. And we've now broken their forces, so we should have this capture point 40 seconds to go, but there's no one left now. There's just one samurai retainer gloriously trying to fight and do his thing against... Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. He really is in a lot of trouble. I think they're just toying with him now at the moment, and no, there he goes, and it's all over. It's all over. We've captured the fort, and that's really how you do it. Bring your superior numbers to bear, make sure that you hit on multiple fronts in order to take full advantage of what's available to you, and just get your key units where they need to be. Minimizing wall casualties is essential, especially with your katana samurai or other hard to replace units, because it's not so much about winning this fight, it's winning the next 3 or 4 fights. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. Thanks for watching.